Hello everyone, Dave Prowse here with the tech question of the day for January 25th, 2017. Take a look at what you see on the screen here. The wireless access point, or WAP, is installed in a coffee shop. And the owner of the coffee shop wants to allow users wireless access from anywhere within the shop, but not from outside the shop. And the owner also wants to make sure that laptop author can't get into the network ever. We do not want laptop author on our wireless network. So, question: in what two ways can you modify the wireless access point to comply with the owner's wishes about general accessibility? And as a bonus, how can you block laptop author from accessing the network? And I'll give you a moment to pause the video and come back with the answer. Okay, so there are two ways that you can modify general accessibility to the wireless access point. First, you can change the physical placement of the wireless access point. You may want to move it in one direction or another. It may be better in a corner of the building, or it may be better in the center. You really want to move it around and test it to see. Generally, I start in the center, but you never know. It may need to be moved around. And then you can also change where the actual antennas are pointing. You might change the actual direction. And that can change the access also. If you're getting too much access on one side of the building, you may want to kind of rotate the antennas a little bit. So physical placement is the first way. The second way is to reduce the antenna power of the device. So here I'm using an AC1750 wireless router. And if we look here in the image, we see that we're using the 802.11n standard, and we're using channel 11. Well, channel 11 tells me that this is a 2.4 gigahertz network. So we want to go to the wireless 2.4 gigahertz network, and we want to make changes there. And so what we do is we go down to wireless advanced for this particular device, and we look for the transmit power for the wireless antennas. And, you know, by default, on many wireless routers, this might be set to high. So we can modify that to low, and that will reduce the coverage. You'll still have a real strong signal close to the device, but if you get, say, 50 feet away, then the connection is not going to be as good. So transmit power, set that to low. And you can also modify these as well, which can help you. That gets a little bit more in depth. But generally, you just have to change this to low, and it should be good. That, in conjunction with where you're pointing the antennas and WAP placement, or WAP placement, that's going to help you to fix the problem so that only people from inside the coffee shop can get access to the wireless network, and people outside won't be able to get access, or they'll get a spotty signal at best. Now, for the bonus, what we said was we want to block laptop author. That's the undesired computer. And one of the best ways to specifically block laptop author would be to set up MAC filtering. And if we look here, we have that option right here for the 2.4 gigahertz network. So we can click on that, and we would want to enable wireless MAC filtering. Right now it's disabled. We enable it to turn it on. And then we have options, deny or allow. Now, the best way to do this would be to set up a deny list. If you know the MAC address of the offending computer, and in this case we do, it's listed right here, so we're lucky we know the MAC, then it could be added to a deny list, making it virtually impossible for this computer to connect. So we don't want an allow list because we don't know who's going to be connecting at any time. The patrons of the coffee shop could be anyone with any computer. So that's not really going to help us. We'll set up a deny list and click OK. And then what we would do is add the MAC addresses that we do not want to connect. If we know the person that uses this computer is an offender and we don't want that person, We'll go to add new and type in the MAC address of that computer. And so that's going to be 0862-6681F692. Description: offending computer, and known as laptop author or whatever. We could put in whatever we want with that. Status enabled. Save it. And then that gets added to the list. So now this computer, unless the person changes their MAC address or binds a new MAC address to the card or somehow masks it, then this laptop will not be able to get onto the network. So that's how we can change that. Another good idea is to set up a captive portal for anyone and everyone logging into the wireless network. For a coffee shop owner, a third-party service would be the best bet. And this verifies a person by email or by other means. But however, if you really need to block an individual computer, this is the best way to do it. That MAC filter deny list is still recommended. And as a technician, you might also recommend that the owner use a guest network. So set up a guest network instead of using the main networks. In addition, at some point, we'll probably want to upgrade from 802.11n to 802.11ac or whatever, just to get additional speed there, additional data transfer rate. So that's the answers for the Tech Question of the Day for January 25th, 2017. I'm Dave Prouse. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me at www.davidlprouse.com.